Morning, everyone. Today we'll be discussing about the impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy and the measures that we need to take in order to revive the same. So even before the pandemic, we have been in a very difficult situation because of the sluggish growth and a tightening fiscal situation. However, the pandemic has made matters only worse by affecting our economic activity, our fiscal situation, and even the kind of living our people are going through. Small and medium-sized businesses have been affected very badly, and even the poor. So, coming to the measures that we need to take in order to revive the economy, we will be discussing about three aspects. One is about the budget 21-22 and about the education, and lastly about the credit facilities that we have in place. So, coming to the budget, more emphasis has been placed on infrastructure spending this time, which can be considered as a good sign because with the increased spending on infrastructure, we can be able to provide more jobs, and this will increase consumption and spending in the economy. With this, we'll be able to get economy back on track of the growth. And there is also a greater clarity about the extent of spending as well as the degree of expenditure, which we have not seen in the recent budgets. So this can be considered as both practical and effective. However, like any other budget, even this budget has its own pros and cons. So this budget does not mention anything about helping the poor or unemployed, which is of greater impact now because unemployment has been rising because of the pandemic. And privatization has been given a lot of importance, but then to what extent will government be able to achieve this is going to be a question mark because we have seen government not able to, get very high track record in this. Even very recent privatization of Air India is not going as per the timelines and it has been extended multiple times. With the final deadline, being May 2021. We have to wait and see if this actually gets implemented. And even we could have taken more credible steps to bind the government, like debt target and implementation of fiscal council, so that more rigid steps are being taken. So these are the cons that we have to deal with in order to get the economy back on track. And coming to the education, it's been almost a year since full-fledged classes have been up and running because almost 1 year since the pandemic has struck the economy. And most of the children have not been able to attend schools and even the postgraduate students. And if the situation continues like this, and considering the effect on poor people and small and medium-sized businesses, most of the parents will be forced to drop their children out of the school, and this will greatly impact the education sector, which is of very great importance in the developing economies like ours. So we need to offer them remedial education, offer them any measures that motivates parents to send their children back to school. So, but then the second wave that is seen to be coming in our country will be a challenge for us to implement the schools and colleges. Even the research work is getting affected because people are not able to visit labs because of the pandemic and the restrictions in place. So we need to ease them and get the research and education sector up and running as early as possible. And finally, coming to the credit facilities. For us to get the economy going, credit is a very important factor. So we should allow the credit to flow as freely as possible considering the current situation. And for that, banks are going to help us along. But then of late, RBI projections, have indicated very high increase in NPS up to a level of 13.5%. And the asset quality review that has been taken up in 2015 has only exposed the true level of bad loans that we have and the very slow process that we have in place in order to deal with restructuring of these bad loans. And these restructuring also we have been able to achieve only in claim cases, and in terms of complex cases, we do not know how this is going to work out. So the recent bad bank that has been established is going to have a significant impact on the restructuring process. When the management is given proper authority and when given their freedom, they will be able to impact this restructuring process to a greater extent, and this is very much needed considering the current situation. Because credit is going to help the economy a lot in terms of getting it back on track of growth. However, considering all the things, we will definitely be able to see the growth this year, but we should be very careful in interpreting it because we have seen 8% strength in the economy in the recent fiscal year of 2021. So we will not be able to conclude anything, but it will be very tempting to conclude that the growth numbers are looking exceptional and that everything is going fine. But then we will be able to conclude things only in the financial year of 22 to 23. This 2022 to 2023. Because all these measures have been implemented, are going to be implemented in the current year. So we should take this as the timeline and take the growth numbers only in the financial year of 2022 to 23 so that it will be more representative of our current situation. And we'll be able to see if these measures are actually targeting the growth and if some improvements have to be made on how things are going in the economy.